Hello everyone, welcome to TECHMargadarshi. I'm really happy to have you all here. In this video, we are starting a new learning series on Amazon Web Services, commonly known as AWS. This is part 1 and it is completely beginner friendly. Even if you have zero cloud knowledge, don't worry, I'll explain everything step by step. By the end of this video, you will clearly understand what cloud computing is, why AWS is so popular, and the basic foundation needed before learning AWS services. So let's begin. Here is the first topic. What is cloud computing? First, let us understand cloud computing because AWS is a cloud platform. Traditionally, companies used to buy physical servers, storage devices, networking equipment. They had to install them in a data center, maintain power, cooling, security, and staff. Cloud computing changed everything. Cloud computing means using computing resources over the internet instead of owning physical hardware. These resources include servers, storage, databases, networking, security, monitoring. All these are available on demand. You can create a server in minutes, increase or decrease resources anytime, pay only for what you use. This flexibility is the biggest advantage of cloud computing. Let's move on to the second topic, Internet and Intranet basics. Now, let's understand how cloud works using networks. Internet. The Internet is a global network connecting millions of computers worldwide. It uses standard communication protocols like TCP/IPUDP. Whenever you open Google, YouTube, or AWS console, you are using the Internet. Intranet. An intranet is a private network inside an organization. It uses the same web technologies but is restricted, secure, accessible only to internal users. Cloud services mainly use the internet, but enterprises often connect their intranet with cloud securely. Now let's move on to the third topic, why virtualization is important. Now we come to one of the most important topics in cloud computing, virtualization. Virtualization allows one physical machine to behave like multiple virtual machines. For example, instead of running one operating system on one server, we can run multiple operating systems on the same server. Each virtual machine has its own OS, has its own memory, has its own CPU allocation. Without virtualization, cloud computing cannot exist. Resource sharing is impossible. So remember, virtualization is the foundation of cloud computing. How virtualization works? Let's understand this in a simple way. Normally, hardware to operating system to application with virtualization, hardware, hypervisor, multiple virtual machines. Each VM has its own OS and applications. The hypervisor is the key component here. It manages CPU, memory, storage, network. AWS uses advanced hypervisors to ensure high performance, strong security, isolation between customers. Now let's move on to the next topic. Cloud service models. Overview. Cloud services are divided into three main service models. These models define who manages what, how much control the user has. Let's understand them one by one. Now, here is the first one, IaaS, Infrastructure as a Service. Examples, AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud. Here, AWS provides servers, storage, networking. You are responsible for operating system, applications, security inside the OS. This model is widely used by system administrators, DevOps engineers. It gives maximum flexibility and control. Second one is PaaS, Platform as a Service. Examples, AWS Elastic Beanstalk Heroku. Here, infrastructure is managed by AWS OS is managed by AWS developers. Just upload code, deploy applications. No need to worry about servers patching. Scaling, PaaS is best for application developers. Now, last one is SaaS, Software as a Service. Examples, Google Drive, Google Docs, Microsoft Office 365. Everything is managed by the provider. Users just log in, use the application. No installation, no maintenance. This is the most common cloud model used in daily life. Now, cloud deployment models. Now, let us understand how cloud is deployed. There are three deployment models. Public cloud. Public cloud is owned by cloud providers, shared among multiple customers. Examples: AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. Advantages: low cost, high scalability, easy to use. Most startups and businesses use public cloud. Private cloud. Private cloud is used by a single organization, more control and security. Examples: VMware, OpenStack, used by banks, government organizations, large enterprises. Hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is combination of public and private cloud. Companies keep sensitive data in private cloud, normal workloads in public cloud. This gives flexibility plus security. Now let's discuss on AWS suite, that is corporate data center versus AWS. So in first, one corporate data center, companies manage servers, storage, firewalls, networking, monitoring, notifications. This requires huge investment, time, skilled manpower. AWS converts all these into services. Now under AWS Suite, we'll discuss on AWS Services Overview. AWS provides services like EC2, virtual servers, EBS/EFS, storage, RDS/DynamoDB, databases IAM, security, VPC, networking, CloudWatch, monitoring, SNS, notifications. Everything is on demand, scalable, pay as you use. Now let's move on to next topic. Virtualization in AWS. Types of hypervisors. There are two types of hypervisors. Type 1, bare metal, runs directly on hardware, high performance, used by AWS. Type 2, hosted, runs on OS, used for testing. AWS mainly uses Type 1 hypervisors. Now here is the last topic, Xen Hypervisor. AWS uses Xen Hypervisor. Xen, open source, developed by University of Cambridge, used by AWS, Rackspace, OpenStack. It provides strong isolation, high performance security. AWS also uses KVM in some services. That brings us to the end of part 1 series of AWS. In this video, we learned basics of cloud computing, internet and intranet, virtualization, cloud service models, deployment models, AWS infrastructure overview. This knowledge is very important before learning AWS services. Thank you for watching TECHMargadarshi. If you found this video useful, like, share, subscribe. In the next video, we will start with AWS core services in detail. See you soon. Happy learning.